This is my video journal. It's not intended to be advice or guidance. I'm just expressing what I'm thinking and feeling in the present moment. And I'm letting go of the fear that people might think that I'm crazy because of the work that I do and the model of reality that I use to make sense of the world. Because I've been through the whole rigmarole of epistemology, which is the study of knowledge. Like, where does knowledge come from, and like, how do we know what we know? How do we know that we know what we know? You know, I've been through all that. I've looked at, like, how do I know? And been through all the doubts and insecurities and uncertainty. And you get to the other side, or there's no other side. You're always going to be like, it's an unsolvable dilemma, epistemology, because you can't get outside of your model of reality to check it. Like, you're in it. You're in this. So you're always like, you move a piece, it changes reality. You move it back, it changes it back. Like, in a weird way. Like, you can't change your thoughts about reality without changing your reality. As crazy as that sounds, that's a, like, the statement I just made, I can't even validate that as truth. Like, you could go around in circles all day trying to prove or disprove that, and maybe you could prove it, and then you go, okay, so what are the grounds for your proof? And you go, well, these are the reasons why that's true or untrue. And then I go, okay, so how do you know that the reasons that you've come up with are true? And then you have to prove or disprove the reasoning. And then, okay, so now what did you base the reasoning to find out if your reasoning was correct or incorrect? So that's what I'm talking about. That's epistemology. And what it all leads back to, no matter how many times you do it, or it seems to me, no matter how much you pull apart the model of reality and put it back together, it never leads anywhere. And Jared was saying that in one of the camping adventure videos that we did. Like, he came to that realization that, like, if he kept asking questions, like if he kept questioning everything, and that was his intent, like, I want to know all of the answers, then he would be questioning for infinity. He would be questioning for eternity, because as he's questioning and he's figuring out the answers, reality is changing and evolving and growing, and then there's new questions, so he has to ask new questions and then get new answers, and then as he arrives at those answers, that it creates more questions. So it's like, eventually you just got to get outside of the whole thing. But it's not like this romanticized getting outside of the matrix. It's like, you're still just sitting here, but it's all of a sudden you've just gone, oh, like, I don't have to keep going around on the merry-go-round. Like, I can just chill under a tree, or, like, that's the metaphor. Like, you can do anything. So you can stop. You can just stop. You don't have to figure out the answers. So went through all that, and went through all the doubt and the insecurity and the uncertainty, and then I still had a fear. I still had a fear of, like, other people who were still on the merry-go-round of uncertainty because they were trying to figure it out, not understanding my model of reality, or not understanding my thought processes and my beliefs, or, like, your beliefs are always evolving and changing as well. Like, if you're a real free thinker, like, you don't really have beliefs. Like, you have temporary beliefs that, like, until something more valid shows up, new evidence, because you're constantly growing and evolving. Like, as much as I say it's nice to get off the merry-go-round, you're still on it. Like, you're still, and that's the other side of the coin. Like, yeah, cool, I've figured out that I'm never going to know all the answers to all of the questions, and there's infinite questions and infinite answers, and it's always going to be changing. But I'm still a part of it. I'm still sitting there. I'm still in it. So, but you can stop focusing on it. You can withdraw your effort and energy and awareness away from that cycle of trying to know, but you're still a participant. Like, so it's funny. It's so funny. But yeah, so I'm saying, like, you don't really have beliefs because your beliefs are going to evolve and change as new evidence arrives, just naturally through the process of living your life, not this this obsessive need to question and answer, but just naturally moving through your life, you're going to naturally evolve and change your beliefs and assumptions about reality. You're going to change your thought processes. You're going to change what you see and how you see it and how you interact with it. Like, all of that is naturally going to occur. So what I'm saying really is just be it. Like Jared says, like, just be it. You don't need to figure it out. You don't need to, like, try to get outside of it and then look at it from outside and, like, figure it out so that you can get back in it and then do it really well. Just go with it and, like, allow your experience to teach you. So I'm very clear right now. Like, I'm able to keep coming back to where I wanted to be. I was worried that people wouldn't understand how I'm moving through reality and how I'm, building up my model of reality and how I see the world. And then also, like, my reasoning and my motivation to do what I do, and to continue to explore more deeply into the metaphysical and to explore more deeply into the spiritual. So I had this fear that people would think that I was crazy because they just simply wouldn't understand me. And I thought that they wouldn't understand me because I've contemplated all this stuff so deeply. So, like, I was kind of like trying to hide all of this. There's, like, this huge amount of stuff that's going on inside of me. Like, you just heard all that. That's like 1 second in my awareness. I can only speak so fast. But, like, my awareness is just buzzing with, like, all of this, like, questioning knowledge and, like, dimensions and different possible realities. And, like, I only recently started to discover that that's not, like, there is no normal, like, but, like, not everybody does that. Some people are just like, it literally is just like, might go for a surf today. Yeah, I will. And then they go for a surf. Like, that's pretty extreme. Like, everybody's got some kind of internal world going on, but I definitely think there's, like, a spectrum of, like, how busy our minds and our internal worlds get. And, like, I reckon I'm really, like, there's a lot in my awareness at all times. So yeah, I was trying to hide all of that. I was trying to, like, sort of, compartmentalize all of my deeper questioning and my deeper understanding and knowledge of reality. Compartmentalize that, hide it, but I know it's valuable, I know it's important, and I know that it can help people, and I want to use it to help people. But I was, like, trying to hide it and then present this, like, avatar of myself as, like, a quote unquote normal person, and like a mental health peer worker. Like, I understand the mainstream model. I understand, like, trauma-informed care, and I understand depression and anxiety and all of these labels that we're given that are, we're really just talking about the symptoms of the actual things that we need to be looking at. But yes, I understand all of it. And I thought, present that avatar, and then people could come and talk to me like they're going to talk to everybody else. And then I could be like, by the way, we can go infinitely deeper and find out the real cause of what's affecting you in the present day, and change your life today. Like, we can change it today. And it's like this secret that I can then share with somebody after they've approached me. But, like, why would anybody know that you are capable of that, or you can help facilitate that kind of experience if you're, like, hiding it behind this facade of being exactly like everybody else? Like, the logic is flawed. But it was fear. It was motivated by fear because I didn't want people to think that I was crazy. But actually, people need to know that I'm crazy. Or I'm not crazy. I'm just different. And people need to know that if they're going to approach me and then like have this life-changing experience. I need to advertise it. I need to be comfortable with the fact that like my model of reality is really far out, and I need to advertise it. I need to share that. I need to be like, hey guys, you might think that you're insane, but that is a drop in the ocean compared to what I've experienced. Come with me and I'll show you how to make sense of it. Like, not even like that, like, because my whole understanding is like you're the expert on yourself, and nobody can actually help you heal yourself and help you make sense of all these internal created realities but you. Like the work that we do, the holographic kinetics that Elder Steve Richards has been sharing with the world, it's all about facilitating the experience so that the person and their spirit can integrate, and their spirit can show them what they need to see, and they can make changes to those internal creative realities. And it does change your life like so quickly and so accurately because nobody else is doing it. It's you and your spirit, and it just works. But yeah, I understand, like, even like my family, like my dad's like mad skeptic, but he said something really cool recently, which was maybe even a reflection of how what was changing inside of me just coming through him. He was like, look, I don't need to understand it. I don't even need to believe in it. Like, I don't need to have any emotional investment in what you're doing. All that really matters to me is that you're doing something that is meaningful for you, and it's like helping people. Like, I don't believe in it. And if I ever feel like I need it, like, I'll let you know. But for now, it's just, I'm happy not knowing. I'm happy not trying to understand it, because he is that guy that just like, I think he likes a simple epistemic, epistemic meaning like that whole epistemology thing from before, like a simple model of reality. So he's the guy that's just like, you know what? I think I'm going to go for a surf. I am going to go for a surf. And then he just goes for a surf. Like, you don't need to overthink things. That's been his criticism of me throughout all of my my like mental health issues, like, quote unquote. Like, he's been like, you're just overthinking everything. You're just taking on way too much stuff. Like, you're making reality and you're making life more complicated than it needs to be. And I can kind of see that, but also it's like, I don't know if it's a choice. Like, it's like these questions and this burning desire to understand is in you, and it's just like, I got to deal with this. Like, and you can't just go, you can't have like some existential question nagging at you from the inside and just ignore it. Like, it's probably the hardest thing to ignore on the planet, you know? Like, I think that's a big thing a lot of people are going through. Like, they've got this stuff inside of them. And it's one of the most common things that people say to me when they actually hang out with me is like, it's so nice to have somebody to talk to about this stuff because none of my friends get it. And then, you know what? Your friends are probably doing the exact same thing. Like, because I know of a couple of people that have come to me who know each other, who have talked about the most like just amazing stuff that's just like inspired me and like made me have new insights and epiphanies, and just like, whoa, like that's another big puzzle piece right there. Like, because I get excited about it too, you know. It's not a thing that I don't want to do as well. Like, this whole going insane and like trying to figure out the nature of reality and asking all these existential questions and metaphysical stuff. Like, I love it. So that's another part of it, when people are like, just ignore, like, you're making it more complicated than it needs to be. You're making it more like you're overthinking everything. You're creating these problems for yourself. It's like, oh man, I kind of am, because I do love it and I do want to continue to explore all of these areas. And like, I don't really need to. I could just go get a 9-to-5 job and chill out. But like, yeah, that's the whole other thing. But yeah, these people, they always say like nobody else is into this stuff, or nobody else is able to have these kinds of discussions. But like, you'd be surprised. I was even surprised recently. I've got a really good friend who's actually going for their first holographic kinetic session right now. And as the session drew closer and closer, she started to share more and more of her like spiritual and metaphysical experiences that she's had throughout her life. And I was like, I was starting to think like, whoa, like this is like more complex and like more consideration for these, these unspoken human dimensions than like I've even given energy to. Like it seems like she's explored more deeply than even I have, and I consider myself quite a thorough explorer of like the invisible, the metaphysical, the spiritual. I consider myself somebody who has really looked in every single nook and cranny, and yeah, she's surprised me, and I'm really excited to hear how she feels after she has this experience. But that's like a little bit private, a little bit time to boundary. What else? Like I just feel this video has been really awesome, this journal, because it's actually me stepping into the new reality of not being afraid, and I've explained it quite well. I feel this is what I want to do. This is who I want to be. I don't want to be hiding behind an avatar that is presenting to the world as quote unquote normal. I want to be my full uncensored self, and I've said that before, way back in time. I remember saying it. So I've always known it. It's always been in there. Like I really want to be me. Of course, we would want that. All of us, right? I want to be you. I guess the next thing that I'm really exploring is like, okay, so I've done this. I've explored all this stuff. I've really pulled apart reality and put it back together in so many different ways, and I have so many different understandings, and I can really, really sit down with just about anybody at this point, and whatever they share with me is going to make sense. Like I'm going to have a lens for that reality. I'm going to have a way to understand. And I think that's the value that's come out of all of this. And it, like, sounds like a broken record when people talk about like this kind of stuff, but it hasn't always been easy. And it's like had a lot of like hectic experiences and stuff to reach the understanding that I'm at today. And I guess a lot of the deep exploration of these existential questions and everything is often motivated by, trauma and like adverse childhood experiences that just completely shatter your development, so that you start to even branch off into all these different directions of questioning and blocking yourself off from things, and anything that just knocks you off the path, because there's a very clearly defined path for human beings in the 21st century that you're supposed to walk. You're supposed to be socialized by this path and understand how to participate in the modern world. And yeah, I think you get knocked off the path, you gotta make your own path. And then the people that manage to do that, they have the luxury of then, you look at the path that you just walked, and it's like you've been hacking through the jungle with a machete, basically, like just trying to survive. And you go, oh, what if somebody else has to walk that path? Maybe I'll go back and I'll trim the edges a little bit, and I'll put a like nice, comfortable walking trail through there with signage that points in the right direction, and we'll put some watering stations in there, and make food available. Like just like make that path a lot nicer. If anybody else ends up like stumbling down that way and not taking the main route that you're supposed to take through society, let's make that nice. I kind of see that as like one of the roles of the people that do get knocked off the path through adverse childhood experiences or traumatic events or whatever, and then they do get later in life figure it all out. Like, how can we make it easier for anybody else who, goes that way? And yeah. Yeah. I often wonder what it would be like if I didn't, you know, in the words of Dad, like overcomplicate things and overthink things. And I did just like keep my model of reality very simple, but it's unimaginable. And I actually, like I said, like I enjoy this. I enjoy expanding on the model of reality that I do have, and like having all these different lenses to view it through, and like being able to connect with pretty much anybody. Like it's exciting. It's like it's purpose. It feels like purpose. It is purpose. It feels meaningful. And, you know, it's what makes everything that I've been through worth it. Like to be able to create that meaning and create that purpose around it. Because I could quite easily just be like, I'm a crazy person and I've completely, like, this is just too much, and just, you know. But yeah, I can make sense of it, and I do make sense of it, and I can still contribute in any way that I want to my community or society. Like it doesn't matter how much is going on internally, I can still do what I need to do, and that's really cool. And like I think that anybody can do that. I think that we can make changes if somebody's ready to really look at what's going on inside of them. You can definitely make changes. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, please click the like button for me, leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and check out my website, kailives.com. Continually evolving and changing, just like my actual self. Yeah, just going to keep adding to it and adding to everything, and just building this sandcastle on the beach that is my life. And when it's all over, the tide will come in and wash it away, and then somebody else will do it. And I'm okay with that.